Deep in the caves of northeastern Mexico, there's a fish that's actively destroying its own eyes. Not slowly going blind over time, not losing vision gradually, actually programming its eyeballs to self-destruct during development. Today, we're diving into the Mexican cavefish and the insane biology that makes them one of evolution's most extreme experiments. Let's go. The two faces of one fish. Meet Astyanax mexicanus, also known as the Mexican tetra. This species exists in two completely different forms that look like they shouldn't even be related. Form 1 is a normal fish with eyes, color, and a pretty unremarkable lifestyle. Swims around, eats bugs, does regular fish stuff. Form 2 looks like it crawled out of a horror movie. Pale, almost translucent skin, empty eye sockets where eyes should be. Lives in pitch-black caves and has completely rewritten the rules of fish biology. You see, these aren't different species. They're not even different subspecies. They're the same fish. They can breed together and produce perfectly fertile offspring. And some of these cave populations are less than 20,000 years old, which in evolutionary terms is basically yesterday. So this raises the obvious question: why would a fish evolve to delete its own eyes? The cave environment. To understand this, you need to understand what caves actually are. The darkness means zero photosynthesis, which means zero food production. Dinner might be bat droppings that wash in during a storm, maybe some bacterial mats if you're lucky, or possibly a dead cricket. Every single calorie matters. The regular surface version of Astyanax mexicanus looks like a typical fish. Pigmented scales, functional eyes, eats insects and algae, follows daily schedules. They school together, sleep at night, pretty standard fish behavior. Then you've got at least 30 different cave populations that look. And they're not all from one lineage. Scientists have found evidence of at least 5 separate invasions where surface fish entered different caves and independently evolved the same adaptations. Convergent evolution within convergent evolution. Multiple fish populations all arrive at the same solution separately. And remember, these populations are young, less than 20,000 years old. Going full minimalist. Studies compared the metabolism of surface fish to that of cave fish living in complete darkness. Surface fish ramped up their metabolism during what their internal clock considered daytime, burning about 38% more energy than cave fish under identical conditions. But this still doesn't directly answer the eye question. Why specifically target the eyes? In humans, the visual system accounts for huge energy demands. We're constantly regenerating photoreceptors in the retina and processing visual information. For young developing fish, researchers calculated that the energy cost of sight is about 15% of their total metabolic budget. From the cave fish's perspective, that's 15% spent on an organ that provides zero survival value in complete darkness. But it's not just the eyes themselves. Blind cavefish also have a significantly smaller midbrain, the part that processes visual information. If you're not processing visual data, why maintain expensive hardware to do it? The eye assassination. In cavefish embryos, eye development actually starts completely normal. The lens forms, the optic cup takes shape, and everything looks good. Then the lens cells basically choose to die on purpose. They switch on a built-in self-destruct process called apoptosis. Once that starts, it sets off a chain reaction. One thing fails after another, and the whole structure of the eye slowly collapses. Scientists figured this out through some pretty wild experiments. They did lens transplants between surface fish and cavefish embryos. If you put a surface fish lens in a cavefish embryo, you rescue eye development. But if you put a cavefish lens in a surface fish embryo, the eye disintegrates. The cavefish lens actively destroys what would otherwise be a normal eye. The culprit? A gene called connexin 50. This gene makes proteins that form communication channels between lens cells. Normally, these channels keep everything coordinated, but in cavefish, mutations cause these connections to break down. The lens loses integrity and collapses. This gene is important in basically every animal with vision. Scientists changed just one tiny part of this gene in mice, and that alone was enough to cause cataracts, smaller eyes, and smaller lenses. In cavefish, it goes much further. They do not have just one mutation in this gene, they have several. The hybrid zone. Sometimes it's not all or nothing. The Kabayamoro cave system has karst window openings that let in light, so the cave isn't fully dark. This creates a natural experiment, a mixed population of eyed and eyeless fish living together, with distribution based on light presence. Eyed fish are more common in lit areas, blind fish dominate the darker zones. But there's also a third type of intermediates showing traits of both groups. These hybrids likely inherited some connexin 50 mutations, but not as many as the completely blind parent fish, resulting in partial eye development.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Evolution rarely works in isolation, and genes definitely don't, which brings us to our other star player, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, literally, it's actually a gene, and perhaps the greatest named one ever. In normal fish embryos, Sonic Hedgehog, abbreviated SHH, balances eye and forebrain development. Too much or too little has peculiar effects, increasing development in one area while decreasing it in another. In cavefish, SHH is turned all the way up. It floods the developing brain, supercharging jaw growth and creating far more taste buds. That same surge comes with a cost. The high SHH levels shut down genes that normally support eye development, so the eyes never fully form. Taste buds everywhere. When I say taste bud proliferation, I mean it. Surface fish have taste buds inside their mouths, like any self-respecting creature, but cavefish, they're scattered all over their heads. Yes, this means they can taste things by headbutting them. Developmentally, cavefish start with the same number of taste buds as surface fish, but around 5 months after hatching, the numbers start exploding. Growth doesn't stop until 18 months, and some researchers think it continues throughout their entire lifespan. By adulthood, cavefish have way more taste buds strategically placed where they'll make first contact with potential food, like their entire face. Genomic studies show that some cave populations not only have more taste buds, but also have changed taste buds, with 5 to 6 times more bitter taste receptor genes. These omnivorous fish basically eat anything they find: dead animals, dead plants, bacterial mats, whatever washes in. Finding food without eyes. Without eyes, how do they even find food? The answer lies in something all fish have: the lateral line system. Every fish has sensors called neuromasts that detect water pressure and movement, but the cavefish turned this sense into their primary detection system. They've increased not only the sensitivity of the neuromasts, but also their size, particularly around where their eyes used to be. When researchers destroyed these sensors in blind cavefish, the effects were immediate and severe. The fish became clumsy, could not hunt properly, and could no longer school together. In surface fish, damaging the same sensors made little difference in the light. The problems only showed up when the fish were placed in darkness. This shift in sensory processing has dramatically changed their hunting patterns. Sighted fish, like zebrafish, do jerky J-turns when they spot prey, visually lining them up. Cavefish perform smooth S-bends, orienting their entire body toward pressure waves, relying on their lateral line instead of sight. To optimize this, they've even evolved bent skulls and an asymmetrical curve that researchers think enhances water flow to one side of the face, optimizing sensory input. And it works. Mexican cavefish can detect prey at greater distances than their sighted cousins. The end of aggression. Another weird change is how these fish treat each other. Surface fish are aggressive, establishing dominance hierarchies through repeated fights. These fights are common. Cavefish have almost completely lost aggressive behavior. Fights are up to 10 times less common. What looks like attacks are really just food-searching attempts. Starved cavefish become more aggressive toward their tank mates, but they're just desperately searching for food, not establishing dominance. These behavioral differences come from changes in the serotonin system, reflecting a redistribution of brain resources from social behavior to foraging. Surface fish also school intensely, with complex social hierarchies. Cavefish go more solo. However, when cave and surface fish are crossed, the hybrids tend to school more, but scientists think this isn't really about being social. Instead, it's driven by hunger. Their appetites are so intense that they stick together to hunt, even to the point of trying to eat each other. Not alone in the dark. Cave fish aren't unique. The European olm, a pale salamander in alpine caves, also went blind and albino, but took a different strategy. Instead of staying active, olms slow everything down. They can live 100+ years, survive a decade without food, and barely move. They're known to stay within the same few feet for years. The North American amblyopsid cavefish independently evolved similar traits. Over 200 cavefish species show the same pattern. Cave environments are so limited that evolution keeps finding the same solution again and again. This happens so frequently, it has a name: troglomorphy, the suite of traits that evolve in cave-dwelling animals, one of the strongest cases of convergent evolution we have. Comment below what other extreme adaptations should we cover. If this completely changed how you think about evolution, hit that like button and subscribe for more biology that'll mess with your head. Thanks for watching.